Let's start this video out with just a straight fact, okay? If I was to look back when I made my first video and see this video right now and see how much progress that I've made when it comes to tattooing, I would be mortified. Mortified. And not in a good way. I am so far behind than what I was initially expecting when it comes to tattooing. Like, I'm talking, we've been going for like, I don't know, maybe a couple months now. Maybe. And I've done one sheet of practice skin. It's been an eye-opening experience seeing how life really does pan out. How it just doesn't go the way that you can ever anticipate or expect it. No matter how much planning, no matter how much tax time you spend in your own head, scheming out ways on how you're going to make something happen, life can just throw curveballs at you, and all you can do is adapt. All you can do is weigh out the cards in your hand and play them to the best of your ability. So that's the first thing I want to say. Let's give you a little bit of context on what's happened since the last video. I would have just uploaded a video. Perfectionism is procrastination, or perfection is procrastination. So that was where I was in the midst of everything. Everything was still fresh and new, and I was trying to create like a perfect system for when I would be leaving my job. And I ended up really just taxing myself internally with that, trying to come up with a plan and everything. So now I can admit that I can see how much of a waste of time trying to plan things were. Now there is an immense amount of importance when it comes to planning, having structure and having clarity on the direction you want to go. But if you're going to plan, don't plan for the future, plan for the now. Have a direction for the future, but plan for now to reach that direction and then reassess. That's been one thing that I can happily say that I've learned. Anyway, since that video, it's been a few weeks of me not really being able to put any time towards this stuff, which is honestly, I swear to everything I love, it has been breaking my heart. I do not want to take myself away from this part of my life, but everything I've been doing in life has been based on having a foundation for this. So let's just go over quickly what has happened. So firstly, the big one that has really pivoted my actions directly with this has been I lost my job. So that one really ruffled the feathers, okay? Not something I was very fortunate enough to already be trying to plan out a bit of an escape plan, but that was a pretty decent window where I was actually trying to plan that out, and that window shrunk into this. So you can imagine all my action has just been crammed completely. So I've just been trying to do that. I've been trying to juggle a new job, making sure that I'm doing everything correctly, up to standard, making sure I'm professional about that, because that in itself is very important to me as well. It's a massive priority. And right now, the new job has been the biggest priority, not because I want it to be, because I need it to be. I need to be able to make a transition so I actually am able to fund a livable lifestyle outside of filming and doing all that sort of stuff. So it has been a fair bit of pressure, but I think I'm really handling it well. And like I said, we just play with the cards that we're dealt. I think I'm playing quite strategically about everything, and I'm pretty happy with where I'm at right now. So there's been that. I've had to buy a new car, so I've been having to sort that stuff out. You know, insurance, friggin', finding a car, going into the car yards and making sure that I can even get one. So that's been a massive thing. Actually, like finishing off the work that I needed to complete before leaving, because it wasn't just it hasn't been just an immediate transition where I just lost the job. It's, we plan things out, we make sure that we're, easing out. So yeah, it's just been a real mess. It really has. I'm blessed for the mess. Okay. Look, at the end of the day, we were trying to get from the destination we were currently at to this destination, which is where we pretty much are now. Did we get there the way we wanted to, which was like this? No. We kind of just went and then got there, It was yeah, we had to innovate, but we're here. I can happily say that tomorrow is my very last day of being a signage guy. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm not looking back, okay? This is something that I have been wanting to get out of for a few years. A few years, to say the least. It was never even an intention. I'll just want to quickly run over a couple little things as well. Like, it's been a great job. It's been a great journey. It's served me so well doing signage. I mean, I've learned so many skills when it comes to how to be a hard worker, how it feels to be an employee, how it feels to work for good people, how it feels to not work for good people, knowing what it feels like to do something that you don't want to do, knowing how it feels to chase money. It's also brought me a lot of experiences, like being able to travel all of Europe and pay for that, being able to go on those life-changing experiences. It's given me the opportunity to have this sort of setup, I've got a good laptop, I've got a decent car now, I've got a good phone, all this equipment to make all this stuff happen. I've got a good tattoo setup, like all these different things, all the memories and beautiful times and time spent with my friends, like it's saved me from holding myself back throughout the years that I've actually really wanted to cherish. Now, a lot of people like to just get their stuff out the way when it comes to grind and hustle through like your early 20s and stuff like that. I had a little bit of a different approach, I wanted to live it up a little bit and like kind of make good use out of these years. Maybe I could have partied a little bit less, like maybe I could have taken life a little more seriously throughout those years. But at the same time, I don't take anything back. And it's really made me appreciate just like getting that stuff out of my system and now wanting to take on like these next 5 years. They're just going to be crazy. I just can't wait. So that's kind of how I'm operating right now. I just want to segment into like 5 years and then we can figure out later on that. But we'll obviously go over in another video on how important it is to have a system, because I've got this little whiteboard right here that I had been manifesting since, I think I had this board when I was like 20. This shit sat in my room for years on the top of my bed. And I just read it subconsciously every night, just let it instill. And it's just literally 30 points on the sort of person that I want to be. And I can gladly say that I am about 95% of the way there. Maybe not 100% of the way with every single point, but I'm in that direction. And anyway, I'm going to be scrubbing that out in a video that comes up soon, because that chapter's done and we're going to start the next one. And I'm going to write up a system on that board about how I'm going to create a brand new system. Now that I have finally gone over this hump where I can gladly say that I have got my car sorted. I've got my new work that is going to help bridge the gap between the old job and the new job. The old job and the tattooing. So it's just, yeah, I've done it. I've set it up. Now it's just a matter of maintaining. I mean, I'm not going to make anywhere near the amount of money that I was making, but I'm kind of keen to be hungry. I won't lie. I'm pretty keen. So I'm going to actually document a little bit of tomorrow, give you guys a little bit of insight on the work that I was doing for all this time, and then give you a little bit of a preview on how I feel in that moment, because I think that will be a really special moment to record me just hanging up the boots, you know what I mean? Onto better things. Better things that align with who I am as a person, not what I want as a person, you know? So I just thought I'd make sure that I have put some time towards this part of my life. It's really important to me that I can kind of look back onto, you know, how I was feeling in this present moment right before the gun shot, boom, and we went off and racing. So yeah, guys, that's the pre-game strategy, I guess you could call it that.
Let's do this shit, man. Last day. Starting now.
Another thing I just want to quickly clarify. This is not some Aston Hall type video where I just, day in the life, check out the routine. It's just me actually getting my one last chance to actually show you guys how I was going about things on the day-to-day and making it, like managing it, So like today, for example, I'll put in a screenshot of like I'm driving like 300 Ks, 350 kilometers today, which is pretty solid amount of time in the car. Plus I'm doing like installs in between all that. So there's just going to be a bunch of checkpoints. So yeah, this is it. This is it, man. Last time I'm going to do this. Put her in drive, handbrake off, and we're rolling. Couple hours ago was my very last time loading up the truck. Man, it felt good, I won't lie. Knowing that was the last time, it was a freeing experience. Obviously it wasn't perfect. I had to say goodbye to some of the guys that I would constantly check in with every single day, see how they're going, build relationships with these people over time. So that was a bit of a bummer, but it was at least nice to shake their hand and wish them the best of luck for the future. I thought I'd just share a little bit of insight. The whole purpose is to share the reality of things. This is the sort of work that I do every single day. Sometimes it's a lot more difficult. In this video is quite an easy day. I'm not working in like areas like Bondi where, you know, you got to get really creative on how you're going to make the job work. I'm not working in like, you know, like a battle axe where there's pipes and drains everywhere where you don't know where you're going to pick the signs into. But you can see that my job is relatively easy. There's nothing glamorous about it. There's nothing pretty about it. But I thought, you know what, there's going to be someone that might not see the interest in the actual job itself, but can see the point I'm trying to make, which is you're never going to be ready. I just started recording this today to show, one, not what I do, but how I'm doing it, how I'm making it work. My days are long. I come home and I make the most out of the time spent outside of this. You know, it's a job at the end of the day. I've got to make a living. I've got to pay for the things like my course, my equipment, standard bills, health, insurance, car, all the usual expenses, right? I've got to make a temporary sacrifice of going all in so that you can go all in, you know, take a step back to take a step forward. So that's kind of what I've been having to do, and that's this, working in the sun all day, getting burnt and tired. It takes me away from the stuff that I actually want to do, but this is building the foundation. This is the sacrifice right now that I'm willing to take in order to be able to buy myself a bit of time to go all in when that time comes, which is now. I also wanted to say, like, no, you're not going to be ready, but what you can do is just show people that resonate. You could be a plumber, you could be a bricklayer, a concreter. You could just be working at Woolies or you know, like at a grocery store. It doesn't matter what you're doing. The fact is that what you're trying to do, no one's going to shit on you and discourage you for making a living. Everyone's on the same page. Don't discredit yourself. Don't feel like you're not worthy of making content and trying to help people out just because you're not living the life that you'd love to be living. Share the whole process, because that's what it's all about. Can you resonate with someone? Can you make a difference to someone's life? Can you encourage people to go, you know what? That's the exact same position that I'm in right now. And look at him. He's doing what it takes to move towards the direction that he actually wants to go in. He's acknowledged his circumstances, but at least he's pushing towards what he wants to do. And he's going to show the whole process as well on how he's doing it. People love that shit. I'm telling you. I know I love that shit. I can always respect someone who's like giving it a crack. It's like you trying to shit on someone that's overweight for going and rocking up to the gym. It's like, you should never feel that way, you know? No one's going to judge you for being overweight and trying to do what he can to make a better life for himself. It's just not the reality of things.
There's one other thing that I'd like to mention. If you're in a position right now where you're trying to transition into something that, like, your passion, your dream job, and it's not initially going to pay you at all. You're going to be doing this for free for a while, maybe a year, maybe 6 months, who knows, right? What I would recommend, just going off my own experience, of course, is to find a job where you get to spend time alone. Whether that be like deliveries, maybe that's, at the back of the factory where you don't really have to deal with too many people. I feel like allowing yourself to, like, for me at least, like, I'm a bit more introvert, so this could just be a subjective opinion, but I found like keeping in my own company has really helped me flourish and create my own environment. A lot of the time when I'm working in companies where I'm surrounded with other employees, I tend to get like emotionally drained, distracted, overall just unhappy. The one thing I loved about this job was simply how I could create my own environment. So instead of like just listening to music at the factory all day, I could either like put in my AirPods, or while I'm driving doing these certain amount of kilometers per day, I've got YouTube playing, right? I'm listening, I'm consuming information that's actually valuable. Same with like audiobooks. So like I'm actually being productive while doing things that necessarily aren't, at least according to the alignment of my future identity and stuff like that, my higher self. So that's been a really helpful tip that I could recommend. Another thing that I would recommend is trying not to do something too labor intensive. This has been one of the biggest cons that I've faced within this job. It's not that bad mentally, like it really is pretty mindless work, right? But when it comes to the physical cost, by the time I'm home, I'm mentally drained. Like the whole amount of driving that I'm doing, it was a little bit too much at times. You don't realize it. It seems so subtle, but it creeps up on you. Like the amount of attention that you have to pay on the road constantly, making sure that you're conscious, so that you're not causing an accident and whatnot, right? Making sure you're not getting fined by cameras, all that good stuff. So that was just another thing that I thought I'd mention. Another one would be to try and find a job where the routine is consistent. This is another major toll that I've ended up paying within this job. My hours are never the same. I don't have much notice. I would say like maybe a month in advance, or at least a week, knowing how to kind of schedule, because your body clock just never adjusts, and you'd be surprised how much of a toll that takes as well. It would really be ideal to find like a sweet spot between like not too mentally draining, also a little like not too physically draining. Like if you could find that little middle ground, I don't know what that could be. Maybe like Uber Eats or something, where like you're riding your bike around. Having a consistent environment with work, man, that makes a difference. Because your body just adapts to it. If you're going to like a factory job, right? You know that like every single day is kind of going to be the same. You're not having to constantly process new information. Like it's not every day is a different day. That's great if that's your full-time gig, 100%. Like that's awesome. I love that, and that's why I love this job so much when I first started. And then as my eyes opened up towards like, where do I want my future to go? Because at the end of the day, this is a kind of a dead-end job. I was like analyzing my position, and I'm like, this is taking a lot more of a toll than I even realized. Constantly adapting to new environment, man, that thing tax you dry if you're trying to, spend those afternoons remaining focused and focused and focused. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible. It's not impossible at all. But is it unnecessary? That's arguable. Do you really want to strip yourself away from the potential that you could be delivering within the work that you actually want to focus on? Or do you want to try and minimize that as best you can? So that was just another little suggestion that I thought might bring some value. We've got 2 more jobs, and then we can officially wrap things up. All right. We're pulling up now. Very last job. Tell you what, I am stoked. I don't think you understand. I am so keen. I tell you what, and I'm gonna make this statement right now. I will do everything in my power, to never work for anyone else again. What I mean by that isn't I will always work for the clients that I take on, but under my own conditions. I will not have a boss ever again. I will do everything in my power to make sure I never have to go through that shit again. Not because it was bad, just because I need to make this fucking promise. I need to make this promise that I'll never put myself in a situation. I will do everything it fucking takes to make sure that I remain my own boss, I remain independent, and that I can pull and handle any pressure that I put on myself. That's it. That's it. Let's go finish this last job. That's a wrap. That's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. This era is finally over. I will make sure of it. I promise myself, because that's the person that you should be promising. I promise myself that I will not ever give up on this dream. That I'm going to make a difference in the world for the better. And that I'm not going to settle for things. I'm not going to fall for the money. I'm chasing fulfillment. I'm keeping content. Chasing truth. Whatever you want to call it. I'm done, mate. I do things for me nowadays, bro. No one else. For my family. Stuff of that nature, but we're living a life of truth and honesty now. There's no turning back. There's no looking back. We're doing this shit once and for all.